I'll probably mention the new parts that have come in from the factory. Well, they're all fitted and good to go. I hope they do the trick.
Hello and welcome back to my F1 2019 career mode. We have an upgrade to the weight reduction of the car, so that should help us in the low speed corners. The championship situation right now is interesting. We have Hamilton and Verstappen tied on points for the lead. Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas tied for third, and myself and Leclerc tied for fifth, and Sergio Perez not too far behind. So this will be an interesting race. Let's get into qualifying.
Welcome to China as we head into the Shanghai International Circuit. An intense circuit, this one, marrying both high-speed straights with technical corners. It makes a track that's both fun from a spectator's standpoint and very challenging from a driver's. And I'm here, of course, with Anthony Davidson on what has turned out to be a very pleasant day indeed. No weather to interfere, no problems on the track, so absolutely no room for error.
That's right, Crofty. It's looking good out there at the moment. Each team will have their own game plan for this session, and of course once the cars leave the garage they'll be under parc fermé conditions, so any last minute adjustments need to be done right here and now. Beyond that, it's all up to the driver. Who can keep their tyres in the right temperature, who can hit their apexes. No race fuel on board these days, of course. These are the fastest cars we've had in a long time, and it's right here in qualifying where they're at their absolute peak. Let's get started.
So here we are for qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. This is actually going to be our fastest lap of all three sessions. You'll see why later on, but for now we'll focus on this lap. Pretty good line through the first corner, but we've got a Red Bull behind us. I'm pretty sure it's Max Verstappen, so we'll have to watch out for him. Hopefully he won't try to overtake us throughout this lap, but we've got a good amount of straight line speed in this Racing Point car, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we don't really need to let him pass. We're on our own flying lap, so it shouldn't be a problem for us. But missed the apex through this right-hander by quite a bit. Got this almost got there eventually, and missed the one there on the left as well, but they're not the most important ones of the lap, so we should get away with it for now and focus on the rest of the lap. I had a lot of trouble with that mid-sector throughout practice, so that's something I have to work on in the car. Maybe the downforce or lack thereof is just holding us back in those sort of flowing corners. But onto the main straight, DRS open. Verstappen's nowhere near us, we don't need to worry about him. And we have to get the braking point right here. Maybe a little bit late on the brakes there, and just missing the apex of the right-hander hairpin, and that has cost us a little bit of time, but we don't need a fantastic lap to get through. We've got a lot of car speed, and we cross the line, and Verstappen immediately goes fastest behind us, so we clearly didn't hold him up too much.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
And Jeff there telling us that it will rain in 15 minutes. There's 5 minutes left of this session, so by the time Q2 comes around it will probably be raining, so may not have time to set a dry lap in Q2. That could be interesting. But here we are for the results of Q1. Albon, George Russell, Antonio Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen and Robert Kubica knocked out there, so nothing you wouldn't really expect. This is recorded before the performance patch was released. I know that was a long time ago, but yeah, this was recorded that long ago. And Q2 comes around and it is raining right now, so we'll have to see. I'm just looking at the weather indicator here to see if it will clear up by the end of the session, and it will in 20 minutes, and the session ends in 14 minutes and 30 seconds, so it doesn't look like we get a dry lap in.
We're set.
Here we go across the line. What's the time going to be? We go fastest at the moment. That's obviously not going to stay, but we got P6. Sergio Perez gets knocked out in P12. So Daniel Ricciardo, Lucas Weber, Lando Norris and Daniel Kvyat also got knocked out there. Butler gets through. as well. I'm not sure if that's the first time he's made it to Q3, but yeah, that's nah, surely not. Anyway, we go into Q3 now, get our last set of soft tyres on, the special set we get for Q3, and get started on our lap. And the track conditions, I don't know if they were better or worse than Q1. Obviously the rain may have affected things, also the clouds over the cloud cover now, if that's different to Q1, but it just didn't really have as much pace in Q3. Across the line, and it's
All personnel be aware, car leaving.
not enough. I think I can improve, and we do so.
We're very happy with our position. Well done.
But only to P8.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Leclerc, Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. With qualifying wrapped up, we now have our grid lineup for the big race tomorrow. Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a fantastic race.
So Leclerc gets pole position from Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, Gasly, Verstappen, Hulkenberg, our new rival, which I haven't mentioned yet. Myself, Roman Grosjean and Devon Butler back in 10th.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
And something else about the race worth noting is that there will be rain about 45 minutes into the race. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Let's get into it.
It's time to find out which driver is up to the task of claiming the Chinese Grand Prix. We're here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before the braking zone of turn 14. Alongside me to discuss all the action today is Anthony Davidson. Thanks for joining us, Ant, and tell me, you were down in the pit lane earlier. How do you think the track conditions are today?
Well, the surface looks clean enough, but I'm a little bit worried about the track temperature. It's pretty cool out there, which could give some teams difficulties when it comes to keeping their tyres in the right operating window. The cars out there that work their tyres hard and really put a lot of energy through them, they'll be the ones that are better off.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Bottas, Vettel, Pierre Gasly and Verstappen, Hulkenberg, the scientist, Grosjean and Devon Butler, Ricciardo, Perez, Lucas Faber and Norris, Kvyat, Albon, George Russell and Antonio Giovinazzi. Raikkonen and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Excellent job yesterday. We qualified above expectations. Let's go out there and put in a performance.
I will certainly try to put in a performance. Here we go, 5 red lights. There was no formation left for some reason, and I didn't know that at the time. And caught the crowd a bit, so it was a bit of a slow start. But we managed to hold our position so far. And Hulkenberg down the inside of Gasly straight away, wasting no time there. We had a little look to the outside, but that actually allows Devon Butler through. Straight away we've lost that position. So hopefully we'll be able to get that back throughout the race. But other than that, we really only dropped one spot. Butler to the outside of Hulkenberg, down to the inside. We went off circuit for a second there. There was a bit of dust, and we went off slightly as well, but he was not able to make that stick. And now as we go very aggressively through these corners, trying to get a run on Butler, we might just be close enough here, just trying to get a run on the exit. And we have some extra speed in hand. We're looking to the inside, the outside. Where is he going? We can finally make him defend to the inside, and he leaves us space. We're going to go down the outside. Now it's who can brake later. It's us, but can we get it stopped? We do. Get it turned in, and we are back up
That
to
start was okay. Now stay alert for threats around you.
our starting position in 8th place. Hulkenberg's the car ahead of us, and if we get past him, we'll be in the best of the rest position. What on earth was that noise, by the way? Someone let me know. We'll move on from there.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead in the DRS zone.
We're not actually keeping up with
The car
Hulkenberg,
ahead is starting to create a gap. They're starting to pull away from us.
and the reason is our front left tyre is, well, basically lava at this point. 130 degrees there for a second on the surface, and the car goes to well over 100, so it is absolutely screaming and not turning, really, I guess you could say. But we're going to have to really manage that throughout this stint I've discovered. So yeah, this could be a long race or a long stint on these soft tyres. I may consider just getting off of them because they are absolutely dreadful. They're just well above their operating temperature. They should be, the carcass temperature should be in mid 90 degrees range, and
Our gap to the car in front is 3.5 seconds.
at this point they're lucky to get below 100. The only sort of break on this track is this long back straight, and right at the start of it there's a long sweeping corner, and at the end there's a big braking zone, so trying to keep tyres in the right temperature window is very hard. There's a lot of long right-handers on this track, and they've ruined the tyres really. But Perez gets past us there. He's made up for a bad start, and he is through.
Some information on Russell. They are out of the race.
Russell's out of the race, and what's happened here? He's had a failure, another Mercedes power unit failure by the look of things, and he's just going to park up just here somewhere, and that was very close for his teammate there. I'll see it on board in a minute, but that's not a nice noise. Oh, he was very lucky that the Alfa Romeo was just clear of him there. But anyway, we move on, and we still have the same tyre issues. I've been trying to manage it, and they may have gone down a degree or two on average, but they're just not really hanging in. So really I'm just waiting and just going around the track like a turtle, just waiting for the next stint to start on mediums, where I'll hopefully be able to push on a little bit more. But
We're expecting rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Rain in 10 to 15 minutes. That could change things. The soft tyres won't last until then, but
Okay, we can take you this lap.
we come into the pits because we're going to stick the medium tyres on now, and that should get us out of jam in terms of these melting tyres, and we should be able to get a good undercut on the cars around us.
Complete, go now.
We'll jump ahead of Perez, and
We'll be doing one more stop today. One stop left in our strategy.
hopefully also ahead of Hulkenberg. We'll have to see if we get that kind of undercut. But yeah, on the medium tyres now we should be able to push on more, and see how this goes. We have to put in some good laps to try and make up the difference to Hulkenberg, to try and get back in the battle with him. We also have some traffic to navigate. The first car we catch is a Danica Fiat, so we have a little look down the inside, then we go all the way down the inside, and we get that position, not quite running into the back of Antonio Giovinazzi there, and we send one down the inside of him at the next corner, run a little bit wide, but we get
Gap
through.
to car in front is 10.1 seconds.
And conveniently a couple of cars ahead of us pit there, so that's less cars we have to overtake. I think we actually screwed over Giovinazzi to the point where we had actually passed him. But
I
anyway,
think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
in all that rambling, we have jumped Hulkenberg in that phase, so the undercut has worked absolute wonders for our race, and we are able to push on. And rain is still 15 minutes away, despite it being a few laps since he last said that. But anyway, won't worry about that. We're up to P8. Verstappen is ahead of us for some reason. Someone mustn't have pit yet.
Okay, gap ahead is 14.7 seconds.
And that person is Perez, and they finally make a pit stop. And the field is now... everyone's made a stop, basically. So Perez is behind us. He will have good pace. He's on fresh tyres. But he's got Ricardo to get through first. And Ricardo's on soft tyres. Maybe Ricardo hasn't pit yet, I'm not sure. Or he might have pit onto another set of softs. I'm not sure about his strategy at this point, but... no, he must have pit onto another set of softs. Anyway, we move on, and here is Ricardo catching up to us, absolutely charging past. So he must have made a pit stop to have that kind of pace. But anyway, we hold it round the outside, a little bit on the grass on the exit, but we should be able to hold on, and we do just that into the final corner. And Perez, no, Hulkenberg actually, is the next car behind him. They actually have a run here, he does, and Hulkenberg gets through into P8. So fighting our fellow Australian maybe helped out our rival there, but we won't worry about that.
We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes. Our gap to the car in front is 17.0 seconds.
The rain is getting ever closer, just a few minutes away now. So I'm not convinced that we'll have good pace in the rain, or at least in the rain on dry tyres until the intermediate tyre period comes. I always struggle with that phase of a track getting wetter and wetter when you're on the wrong tyres, but we'll deal with that as it comes. But we move on, and the rain is now coming. You can see some spots on the screen, and now we just have to survive a few laps and until our time for a pit stop. And we've still got Hulkenberg behind us, and Ricardo battling away as well. So the two of them have been swapping positions, but they haven't really been bothering me too much. I think they've been battling with each other more. And
okay, be careful on those slicks. These conditions are making the line a bit greasy, but we're still nowhere near the changeover point.
but finally, they do start causing problems. Ricardo's through on the outside. We try to get back down the inside, very close to contact on the front left there. And we have a little bit of a drag race towards the final corner, but Ricardo gets that, but then he pits. It's not time for intermediates
We've
yet,
seen at least 20 minutes of light rain. Dries seem like the fastest tyre at the moment.
as Jeff just confirms there. He is going on to another set of dry tyres. He's doing an extra stop right now. Even if those soft tyres were wearing out, he should have just stayed out until the intermediates came, or just put intermediate tyres on now. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's putting another dry set of tyres on, I can say
This
that.
light rain is going to be with us for a while now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
But someone who is on a good strategy, or same strategy as myself, is Sergio Perez, and he gets through. We get a switchback through the last corner, drag racing once again into the final corner, and we should be able to pull through on the outside here. We run just a little bit off circuit, but we hold the position, and he's still on the outside. He gets a good amount of straight line speed there, but we send it down the inside at the first corner, and now once again we hold the position, and hopefully this time, hopefully the intermediate period is coming soon, because these conditions really aren't helping me.
Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more energy.
And neither is that. This whole race, I haven't mentioned it yet, but the ERS has been so hard to manage, and I'm hoping the rain helps that, because in F1 2018 the ERS was just a non-issue in the rain. You could do whatever you want with it really, and it wouldn't drain too much. I guess your I guess you're spending more time on the brakes in the rain. But anyway, do we just look how slow we're going through these corners now. The tyre heat isn't...
I know these conditions are tough, but bear with it. I don't think the track is ready for intermediates yet.
The tyre heat isn't an issue anymore. It's just the track is just so wet that there's just no grip on the slick tyres, but it's just not wet enough for
Green
inches.
flag.
And something's happened behind us. We're on board with Nico Hulkenberg here, and what's about to happen here? He's had some kind of failure there. No big cloud of smoke, so maybe it's a gearbox or something different, but this is on board with the McLaren of, I think, Lando Norris, and that was a little bit close there, so he goes and pits after that for some reason. But we understeer right off the road there.
Okay, I think it might be just about time to come and change these tyres.
And Jeff
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
finally giving us the option to go onto intermediate tyres as we run off the track there.
Sergio behind. Okay, the gap behind is 3.2 seconds.
And we've got 3 seconds to Perez, so he will probably get a little bit held up
Sergio is in the pits.
by myself in the pit lane. I was a little bit cautious on entry, so I may have did a bit of damage to his pit stop there. And as we look back, you see he does have to wait
You'll be racing on the exit.
a couple of seconds there. And as we come out,
That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops.
this is Perez, and I just looked at the replay to make sure that there was actually no other cars in pit lane. We're the only ones stopping, so I feel like we stopped on a good lap, so I'm not sure if everyone else has left it too late or what's happened, if we were just maybe on our own a bit, but I think we're actually some of the only cars not to make a second dry tyre stop in this race before the rain.
Okay, the stewards have now disabled DRS. DRS is now disabled.
And now DRS is off, so yeah, it's our timing was good with that pit stop. But this is another retirement. Alex Albon is out of the race, so interesting there. That's another failure. So that's 3 in the
10
earlier
minutes left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes.
earlier part of this race. 10 minutes left of the rain, so we just have to struggle through that and get through the rest of the race. We run a little bit wide there. I was making a few little mistakes like that in the rain. I just wasn't driving quite as consistently, but I've actually had very good pace though, despite that.
You're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain. 10 minutes. Inters seem like the fastest tyre for now.
Bottas is the next car ahead, and I've been keeping pace with him. I haven't been catching him, but I've been keeping pace, so... And I've been actually getting away from Perez.
I don't think the line is really dry enough yet to start thinking about slicks. Let's hold on to the inters for a while longer. Okay, gap ahead is 23.4 seconds.
At the start of this stint, Bottas was about 22 seconds ahead. So if I hadn't made any mistakes, I reckon I would have actually gained some time. But anyway, we were never going to catch him and beat him in this race, especially since it's going to dry up again. But it's good to see that we do have some...
The rain is passing. Expected to ease up in the next few minutes. We should see a dry line start to form fairly rapidly, so make sure to cool your tyres down the straights. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
Good to see that we have some pace on the intermediate tyres in this game. But
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
the time is now...
Confirmed.
It is now time for dry tyres.
Affirmative. Medium tyres at the next stop.
And I decided to put medium tyres on because the strategy said softs, but I didn't really like that idea. I thought they wouldn't make it to the end. So medium tyres it is. We are very cautious on pit entry on these intermediate tyres, which are absolutely screaming at this point. I know I said that before, but about the soft tyres, but intermediate to me.
Go now.
Intermediates on a dry track is not a good
Sergio is in for his stop.
combination, and there's a much bigger gap behind me to Perez now than at the start of that stint. that's a tongue twister if you want to try one. But anyway, we move on now, and it's once again the track is still a little bit wet for dry tyres, but the track will just be drying more and more each lap, and we'll be able to push on. And the other cars around us, Perez and like, are on
P7
softs.
now. P7. Bottas ahead. Okay. Gap ahead is 36.3 seconds. They're on old softs. That is Sergio behind you. Our gap behind is 5.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 14 laps to go.
So I think that Perez will have to stop again. I'm not sure, but that seems to be the case. I just don't think that the soft tyres will last until the end of the race. And if they do, well done. But I don't know. That was so horrible on my car that I just don't see it being a feasible option, really. I don't even know why they even tried it.
Sergio behind. Okay, the gap behind is 5.6 seconds. They're on old softs. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:39.9.
And confirmation there, he will be making another stop, but he is absolutely flying. So he'll catch us in no time. He'll probably overtake us, but he has to make a stop, and that will ruin his race, more or less. Yeah, that's a bit of a poor strategy by the Racing Point team there on the Perez side of the garage, but it doesn't really affect us. If he was on mediums, he would probably finish in the same position. Maybe he was having a go at fastest lap, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's looking good for this race. It looks like we're going to lock down P7 and 8, the two best of the rest positions, if you're talking about a whole team. And yeah, Hulkenberg obviously is out. He was our main rival for these positions. Ricardo was there for a while, but I'm not sure what's happened to him. Anyway, finally Perez catches up. He has a little go into the left-hander here, but he doesn't make the overtake stick. So we push on. I tried to run out as wide as possible here, but ended up a little bit too wide. I was just trying to put as minimal steering force into the car as possible, also trying to save the tyres a little bit, but pushed the limits a bit too much there, and Perez got the run, and he is through. I tried to have a look down the outside, but I just had no sort of extra confidence on the brakes, but the switchback was on, but again, he has the better tyres, better traction, but then straight away, he pits. His tyres were clearly still better than mine, but
Sergio is in the pits.
he pits once again, and we are released back into P7.
Sergio behind. The gap behind us is 21.4 seconds. They're on fresh softs.
And he has lost more than 20 seconds in doing that extra pit stop, so his race has been screwed over there, but it doesn't matter for us.
20.3 seconds. Some information on Gasly. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
And Gasly is going to be slow. He's up ahead. This is looking at his car. I'm not sure what his problem was, but
That is Sergio behind you. The gap to the car behind is 17.1 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go, so Gasly was 30-40 seconds ahead of us, so he's well out of range, so there's no hope of us catching him unless the problem evolves further into a failure. But yeah, there's not really much for us to do in this race. We just basically need to just cruise to the end.
Okay, some information on Bottas. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Bottas now with an issue, so another Mercedes issue in this career mode. I've lost count now, so yeah, I don't even know now.
This is your final lap. Final lap of the race.
I decided, just for fun, we'll do the final lap with the in-car camera, since I had no chance of catching or being caught by anyone. So this is interesting, I guess. But something I really noticed, firstly, is how distracting the
There's
halo
only
is.
one lap of fuel remaining.
I don't care there's one lap of fuel remaining, because there's one lap of the race remaining, Jeff. First thing, yeah, how distracting the halo is. And you just... I mean, it's a solid object, you just can't...
We've pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Jeff, can you please stop interrupting me? First thing is, yeah, it's a solid object, you just can't see through it, it's very distracting. And the second thing, which I think is actually worse, is how much your steering wheel and how much your hand gets in the way of what you can see.
Gap ahead
Jeff,
is 29.5 seconds.
I really do not care. We're on the last lap, I'm not caring about cars 30 seconds away. But just on those sort of lower speed corners where the steering wheel goes to sort of a 90-degree angle, you can't see past it. You can't see. I mean, you can't see the front of your car anyway, but you can see it even less when you're turning. So that's interesting. But anyway, we are rounding the final few corners. That's probably almost the best I've done that right-hander all race. But through the last corner, it's another best of the rest finish for us in his career mode. P7.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Here's our winner, pulling their Ferrari into Parc Ferme. What a fantastic race it was. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari do it again. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
For me, it's Kimi Raikkonen, someone who definitely doesn't get enough attention for how well he performs out on the track.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. The current championship leaders still hold top spot, but that gap is getting smaller. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from Red Bull this time out, and they improve their position in the championship. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So at the end of the day there, Vettel obviously got the win as you saw in the cutscenes, but yeah, fairly normal looking podium, top 6 even. None of them had major enough issues to retire in this race, so reliability somewhat coming back for them, but obviously you heard Bottas and Gasly still having their issues. And yeah, P7, P8 for myself and Perez. Perez probably would have beaten us if he had a better strategy at the end there. He had piles of pace in that race, just bad strategy and track position really. Lando Norris ends up in the top 10 as well as Daniel Ricciardo, and Lucas Weber misses out, so he'll be disappointed with that, as with Devon Butler, after starting in the top 10, so he'll won't be too happy with his performance or strategy either. A lot of them did 5 stops, which is insane. I don't know, it's just bad strategy.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it.
Your team must be ecstatic with how you're performing.
Yeah, it's been a really great start to the season, and the team are expecting big things now, so we just have to keep pushing in each race.
How do you feel the weather affected the outcome today?
Well, the strategies got a bit mixed up, but at the end of the day, the top teams and drivers still ended up at the front, so...
That was a Just finish. How are things between the two of you?
Yeah, Perez and I have really been pushing, and it's helping both of us.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Claire. We move on to the rivalries. Unfortunately, Hulkenberg didn't even finish that race, so he didn't get too much out of that race. In fact, he didn't get anything. We've got 757 resource points.
You're not the only driver to be handed by the press. Emails, like the one I've just sent you, will give you an insight on how your former Formula 2 rivals are handling the press. Be sure to check your emails regularly, as I'll be sure to send you any of the more, let's say, interesting press transcripts that come my way.
So we'll have a look at that in a moment, but firstly, as for the upgrades for this episode, I will be doing the general maintenance upgrade and another quality control upgrade for the aero department, because our aero is that bad that I think it's worth investing all these points. But let's have a look at these things. Actually, what I'll do, I'll just leave both on the screen for a while so you can read them yourself if you want, but no highlights this time because some silly person forgot to record them. But other than that, until next time, goodbye.